There are a couple of suspension myths that persist even to this day. Suspension myth number 2. Modern sport bike suspension is so good, you'll never be able to override it. Only a pro racer could do that. This was a theme, a myth generated back around the turn of the century. In the early 2000s, there was the sport bike development wars. Every 2 years we were getting a brand new 600 and a brand new 1000. Right on up until the crash of 2008, right? Then we got the 2009 Gixxer and we never saw another bike. Same with the 09 R1, right? That Ben Spies won the championship on. The Kawasaki's continued to develop a little bit, you know, after about 2010, 2011. Sykes suffered for a couple of years in World Superbike. But right at the end of the century, in like 98, 99, when we got the first R1, remember that? Butt stomping 130 horsepower. On up through 2008, the suspension on sport bikes just got better and better and better. The stock suspension. A lot of this had to do with racing. They wanted to have a good bike. Back then, you know, they would make a special bike that had special suspension and they would make 500 of them to sell to people, which they're doing again. But there were also lots of super stock championships where you couldn't change the componentry like that. At any rate, for a number of reasons, the stock suspension on motorcycles, that's when we got our inverted forks, could buy one off the showroom floor with upside down forks. They all came fully adjustable, and this was remarkable. All the publications, magazines, even the few that were online at the time, their common mantra was, dude, the suspension is so good on this bike, you could never override it. It would take a pro to do that. That's how good the suspension is. It's just phenomenal. It's unbelievable. Major myth, as we will see in this video clip of a guy on an older R1.
So what year?
2007.
07?
Yes.
How many miles roughly?
11.
11. Have you serviced the suspension at all?
Never.
Okay.
I just got the fork seals done a few days ago.
Okay, grab the bus. You're already on the edge of the tire. You're already riding very well. No, you're riding very well.
Oh, okay.
But you're better than the equipment can support. The spring tension in the back is too soft.
Too soft for my weight.
Correct. And these notoriously were soft on the shock in the back. So on the preload adjuster, we still have some room to go.
That's good news.
So we've only got a couple notches out. 1.
Doesn't take much, does it? Or I need a new rear.
Okay. These shocks on eBay are about $60.
Oh, so just get a newer shock for this.
Get the same shock, have it revalved and resprung to you. Switch it.
Gotcha.
Keep this as an emergency spare, but that's urgent.
Okay.
Like next week.
Next week.
Because this is an accident.
Waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, you can override the suspension. And this guy's, he's just an average track day rider. I mean, he's not a slow guy, but it's not like he's qualifying for a Moto America race tomorrow. He's just an avid track day rider, and he is overriding the suspension like that.
40. Whoops. Still too slow.
Yeah.
So that's 17. That's all the way off. All right, so we'll see what that comes back in with. That is way too stiff. All right. Let's get this where you can actually use it and enjoy it. So we'll take all the preload off.
I only signed up for this track because I knew you would be here. Seriously.
Thank you. Yeah, too much rebound damping, so it won't come back. So we'll take it all off. There we go. That works much better. Looking at the screws, that compression is a long way off. My guess is 2 turns. So we'll see here where we're at. So half, 1, half, 2, 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. So at that point, your valving works on the stock needle at 1 3/4 and in. So half, 1, half, 3/4. So we'll go to the outer limit. So let's see where you are on compression. So this screw up here,
Okay.
when you use the torque of the engine, it loads the back of the bike.
Okay.
So this screw helps stop it doing this and falling back. So you're 1 turn out. So what we're finding now, if we have to tighten this up some more, your ability and the spring needs to get changed because you're getting better. So we need to move to a stiffer spring. So that's a natural consequence of setup becoming outdated.
You know, forks tend to work better than shocks, but you can certainly override the settings in a heartbeat if they're wrong, which comes from myth number 1. Another thing, we've all seen the Our Nicky Mouse videos, right? The guys shredding on Mulholland, where they're dragging their elbows on the street in the hills above LA. Tires today, that like your Dunlop Q3, dude, that's the race tire from 10 years ago. It's not the exact same compound in it. I mean, the compounds have changed everything. But I'm saying the performance level of today's Q3, that was the performance you got from a race tire 10 years ago. You can override your suspension really, really quickly, much more quickly than you ever thought possible. I did it on a CBR 929. Got it fresh off the showroom floor, didn't touch anything. You know, it immediately became a track bike. I did about 400 street miles on it as a break-in, and then I put another 6,000 track miles on it in 2.5 years. And it was at a track day one time when magically I got a new set of tires. It was just shredding the front tire. I mean, literally just roaching the front tire. And at that track day, there was an AMA Pro. He was privateer, but he raced AMA. He was an AMA Pro racer on a privateer team. Plus the track day provider guy, who was a guru, had been, you know, doing track days since about the inception of track days. They didn't have any clue. They didn't know what. They had no idea. And it was a couple of months later that I met Dave Moss at a school event. And it's been a man crush for ever since. Dave just did his, you know, like you've seen in some of the 2 Clicks Out videos where we shot some of those at a Kegwin school, where he just measures sag, balances the bike, and away you go. I was about to quit the sport. I was having such a miserable day the first session. It was a Kegwin school, and went and gave it to him and came back, had a brand new bike. And I've been flushing money down the toilet of sport biking ever since. To summarize and reiterate, you can override your stock suspension. Definitely the settings. And this can happen really quickly. And I'll close with this. I was going to get into schools, but I'll close this video and make a separate one about schools. Suffice it to say, don't fall for the myth. Be sure to check out the Dave Moss Tuning app for iOS and Android. There you'll find grundles and grundles of information on tires, suspension setup, and more.